Welcome to Next Game's Odyssey series. This video covering Atonement 3 NMs and what causes the red procs, blue procs, and the fetters to spawn and despawn. Now over the last week since its release, the general consensus on the FFXI forums is that skill chains and magic burst aligning with the element that is the weakness for the mob you are fighting will trigger the blue proc and for the fetters to despawn. However, in my own battle examples, this wasn't really lining up as my weapon skills alone were causing the blue proc and the fetters to despawn. So this caused me to look into my 4 examples more, and I believe I've kind of figured out more around this system and exactly what's involved, and you definitely don't need skill chains or magic burst to pull it off. I decided to go ahead and break up my 4 run examples into a quick video to kind of show everyone what I mean. Now the first thing that's critical to understand is that each mob does have a weakness, and you need to exploit that weakness in order to efficiently take advantage of this red and blue proc system. For the shark, the weaknesses are blunt, thunder, and light. For the bird, blunt, stone, and dark. For the T-Rex, slashing, water, and darkness. Tree, slashing, wind, and light. Bee, which is the one I've done my 4 examples on, is piercing, ice, and darkness. And then for the lion, it's piercing, fire, and light. Okay, so let's talk about this proc system. When the mob first uses their special ability, now in the case of the bee, Zevioso, this is Droning Whirlwind, the red proc window opens. From that moment forward, if the NM is hit with one of the weaknesses, immediately a red proc should occur. Now this could come in the form of spells, weapon skills, skill chain damage, and even critical hit melee rounds. Now, I have not actually triggered it on a non-critical hit melee round, so I'm not certain if one of those could trigger it, but I can say all critical hit melee rounds have triggered a red proc. Once that red proc goes off, you now need to do a large amount of damage using that same weakness to do a blue proc, which will make it so that any fetters that have spawned will despawn, and for the aura to drop. This will also take you out of the red proc window. Now note, it is possible that using another one of that mob's weaknesses would also cause the blue proc to occur, but I haven't actually tested that, so I can't say for certain. Now, let's say you go ahead and cause that red proc by doing a low amount of one of the mob's weaknesses, and don't do a large amount of damage. Well, what's going to happen? Well, those red procs are going to continue to occur, and aura is going to go up unique to that NM that is going to make your life much more difficult, and then additionally, fetters are going to start spawning that all have a nasty DOT effect when you're in the range of them, of course, which can make your life very difficult. So it is critical that as soon as you see that red proc, you go ahead and do a large amount of damage using one of the mob's weaknesses. Let's go ahead and see 4 battle examples of what this looks like so it can all come together. Don't worry, these aren't the full fights, they're just the specific part when the red proc window is open. Here we are with our first example. As you can see, Droning Whirlwind was just used, and the red proc window is now open. All of these swings you see my character doing were done before the use of Droning Whirlwind. I now put shadows back up, notice nothing else is occurring, and it's only once I actually get a critical hit off in that first round when I get back into range that a red proc will occur. Here we go. And there you go. So now, what we need to do is a large amount of piercing damage. I do a simple evisceration, and boom, blue proc, and we are out of red proc mode. Now, there's a lot of other ways this can go, which is probably why it's confusing some people. So let me go ahead and show you some of my other battle examples and how it looks kind of different, just depending on how your situation goes. Here we go with our second example. Now, this was my first attempt, so I was trying some different things with this one, so bear with me. But as you can see, Droning Whirlwind was just used, so the red proc window is open. But no red proc has occurred. This is because I'm still out of range of the bee and have not hit him yet. It's only when I actually hit him and a critical hit occurs, that the red proc occurs. Now, if I were to evisceration right here, that fetter we just spawned would have gone away and we would have been out of this red proc mode. However, I didn't. We just ran away from it. So therefore, the fetter despawns, I re-engage Zevioso, and as you can see, I did not evisceration, so therefore red procs continue to occur. Now my accuracy was all messed up at this point, so it took me a while to finally get TP, Once I did, I use it right here. Please note that once that fetter spawned, I started getting really bad lag. So the proc that you see on the screen right there, that blue proc, lagged behind the evisceration, but if you look at the log, that is what caused it. Let's look at our third example. So here in our third example, we have another prime example of the fact that red proc does not occur until I actually land a critical melee hit after the red proc window is opened. Droning Whirlwind was just used. The red proc window is opened. Notice I just recasted my shadows, but all of these hits miss, so that's why no red proc occurs. This hit critical hits, which is why we red proc. Now what happens in the rest of this example is unique to my 4 runs, so let's just go over it really quick. As you can see, I have evisceration right here, but only for 3,500 damage. I don't see a blue proc, so that doesn't appear to be enough damage to trigger the blue proc. Right here, on the next round of critical hits, we trigger a red proc again. So I would have figured that a fetter would have spawned, or that a blue proc would have occurred right there on that next evisceration, which again only hit for 2,600 damage. However, neither occurred, no aura goes up, and no red or blue procs occur for the rest of the run. So I'm not really sure what happened here. It may have just been a graphical glitch. I also show this as this may in a way explain why some people are thinking that they're not blue procing when they are, as clearly no fetters spawned and he is out of red proc mode, but we did not see a blue proc here. So I just wanted to share this as a possible explanation as to why some people aren't blue procing when in fact maybe they are, and it's just not visually showing them it on the screen. Here in our fourth and final example is when I actually beat Xevioso solo yesterday. Now it's kind of a clouded example as skill chains are involved, but I felt it important to give a complete picture of what I've seen on my 4 runs. So as you've seen, Droning Whirlwind was just used. We have not hit Xevioso yet, so no red proc. Keep in mind there is a delay right now on the graphics on the screen, so right there is when we red proc and when a fetter spawns, but the red proc is actually visually seen here. We continue meleeing, but have not weapon skilled yet. Due to this, we proc red again. Now, we finally use evisceration, which due to the graphics delay is now shown as a blue proc just about a second later. Now if you watch closely, you saw the evisceration also just happened to cause a darkness skill chain, which of course would lead some to believe it was the skill chain that caused it, and possibly it was, but as shown in my previous 3 examples, that is not all you need in order to cause the blue proc. I hope that clarifies things a little bit, as I don't think I did the best job explaining myself on the forums. Please, if anyone has further information to add that can help us more refine exactly how this weakness process works, please add it down here in the comments or in the usual thread on the FFXI AH forums. And it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and you stay healthy out there.